Urris is a very small, tight-knit community. Although, mind you, in the bigger world, I suppose a lot of people maybe doesn't even know that Urris exists. They always talk in the context of Ballyliffin or Clonmany, and you know, or maybe even some people talking in terms of maybe just further in than Buncrana. You know, so people have, but to the people of Urris, Urris is very, very special. It is a very unique community where everybody knows each other, and where everybody knows each other very intimately. People live their lives each and every day. I suppose interdepending on each other and communicating with each other, but also I think that at times like this it's good to come together in a different mode to celebrate and to reflect joyfully.
You went to school there yourself. Have you any particular memories that you want to share with us?
Well, that area, I didn't go to that particular school. The new boys' school was built prior to me coming of that age. But as I said earlier this evening, that was an education corridor, and that whole part of Tiernasligo going right back to maybe 150 years to the head school, and you know, we call to mind that, you know, people, you know, in times of grim economic situations and in poverty, people went there and they did their best to learn, also speak the Irish language. And then I think it was, you know, very significant, that a very big step obviously, that new school was built 100 years ago. And then of course, you know, the trials and tribulations of Easter Rising, of Around the Brain being sung for the first time and the after partition. So, you know, it's a very, very historic spot, and I think it's holds great memories for everybody. It's the place where we went, I suppose, in trepidation as wee boys, and but it's the place that we, you know, learned, you know, of living with people, meeting other people, making friends, and people that we know for life. So school is very special and important. And also look back and think of teachers, maybe Barry's still living, Tom Hawley's dead. And, you know, look back and sort of say, well, there were good days and there were bad days, and there were, you know, plenty of all sorts of days, but in the round there were good days and good memories.
The gable wall is all that's left now. The old thatched cottage is fallen down. I dry my eyes as I fondly remember days of long ago when I was young. In my father's house we were poor but rich in love. No TV, but music there was plenty of. And my mama hummed old melodies, and we all sang along. In my father's house when I was young. Come the time when I am older and my own children are reared and gone, I wonder then, will they fondly remember days of long ago when they were young? In my father's house a smile would greet you at the door, a friendly word, weary travellers there was a welcome for. And at night time neighbours rambled in and might stay till 12 or 1. In my father's house when I was young. Years have passed and times are changing. The rambling house is almost gone. but still I hear the laughter of children, just like long ago when I was young. In my father's house we were poor but rich in love. No TV, but good times there were plenty of. We made the best of what we had, and we sang a happy song. In my father's house when I was young. In my father's house when I was young.
How did preparations go, Catherine?
Very well. It was a joint effort. Everybody did their bit. No problems in rain.
No problems.
Everybody's very cooperative. I remember Mrs. Hawley, especially Mrs. Hawley was great. She and Master Hawley, when we taught in the boys' school, they would have done concerts, school concerts and that, and got all the pupils involved in that. I enjoyed that for that reason. Mrs. Kerr, I vaguely remember her. She was good too at music. Yeah.
I quite like school. Oh, plenty.
Oh yes.
Not that it does any good or any harm, I'm sure. But
And now you're back to work in hand. You're all organised at the moment.
we're all organised now. If we get
More or
this
less.
room sorted out now, and we'll have mass on here.
We're preparing this room now for
And-
Mass and for the exhibition on Saturday.
Saturday then we will have the roll books and
And
the
the roll
pictures.
books and a lot of memorabilia for Saturday. Hope we get a good turnout. And I'm sure people will enjoy it.
Aye, people will-
to reminisce and relive their school days, and hopefully they'll meet and make friends again.
Yes, we'll meet old friends.
Meet old friends again.
Whose idea was this, John Joe, or do you know?
Well, I suppose it's a combination of a few of us.
Yeah,
We just talked it over and we thought it would be something nice to have.
yeah. What is your recollections of school, John Joe?
Well, I suppose they weren't too bad. If my main point would be if you were let use the hand that you were supposed to use in the start, which I wasn't. I was left-handed and I was changed around to be right-handed by force of the cane.
And would you use the left hand now, John Joe? Would you?
Everything other than writing.
Is that what you do too?
I'm still a left-handed,
Yeah.
but I write with my right hand.
So you're all ready now for Thursday night, John. So you've had a lot of work. You've had a lot of work to do, and
We had a lot of work to do, and as you see, there's only a very small committee of us. And I was blessed amongst women.
I started school very young because I lived just right beside it at about 3 years. And my first memory of coming into school was the desks and, you know, the wee shiny inkwells. And I thought these were lovely. We thought they were like wee mirrors or something. We're hoping that a lot of people, we'll meet a lot of people that we haven't seen for years that'll turn up.
yeah,
You know, so it'll be interesting.
yeah.
And they'll see a big change when they come to the school.
I wouldn't miss anything to do with Tiernasligo School.
What teacher?
Lil Tolan and Mrs. Kerr. I think I had Mrs. Kerr for a short period, but Lil Tolan most of the time.
Were they local
Mrs.
teachers? Were
Tolan.
they?
No, Lil Tolan came from Ballyliffin.
Did she?
She lived in Ballyliffin, and Mrs. Kerr, she lived in Crossconnell, and that was it.
Yeah.
That was the two of them.
They come in their little cars.
They used to come, and I used to watch Lil Toland. One thing was I remember very well about her. She used to have these little dainty sandwiches, and with no crust. Of course, her husband was the bread man, right?
That's right.
And but we'd always watch.
Patsy the Home.
She'd bring out these little tiny sandwiches, and once in a while she'd offer you one. She'd give you one, and they were so tasty. But there was like nothing. There was like nothing to them, you know.
When you'd be looking up at them.
When you'd be begging. So, and another memory I have of her, of course, with the big ruler. She was known for the big ruler. And also, like him, I was left-handed as well, and also slapped until I went to the right hand. And today I'm the same. I do everything with the left hand, but I write with my right hand. Very confusing. And now they don't do that at all. You know, if you're left-handed,
If you write with your toes,
you
they let you carry on.
Yes.
It's not looked on as a problem, is it?
Oh, not at all.
Really.
But then
It was kind of
Can be an asset.
yes, and it was very
looked as
awkward too. It actually held you back to a certain extent,
Yeah.
trying to get over to the other learn. You know, when you were naturally left-handed. But there was times we had good fun. We used to play games around the Yelly-Yelly-O.
That's right.
And you know. Me and Rosie Kerrigan, Rosie Duffy now, they had this big football match going on between Dunaff and Leanan.
Yeah.
So Rosie and I don't know which one suggested, but we decided to go and take the ball off the boys. So when we go in the middle of their game, got the football, kicked it all the way down, what's that house way down by the ocean? Way almost down as far as the thing, and the boys after us, they couldn't get the ball. But the whole school came to a halt. Lil came out with the hands and she was clapping like this. Everybody was called in. The boys were all called in, and the boys were at this side and the girls were at that side, and the master came over. How foolish they were when you think of it, all over a little, you know. But I guess this was a big match. So anyway, Rosie and I got the business. We were brought into the school, and we had to apologise to the boys, which was a very difficult thing to do because, after all, they should have been able to get the ball off us, right?
Yeah.
So
They should have felt ashamed.
So anyway, we got, for our punishment, Lil gave us 6 slaps. 6, that big, you know. And then I think that was about the end of it. But there was a certain satisfaction. And for years, we always, when Rosie and I talk about that, we always get the greatest satisfaction that the boys didn't get the ball off us. And for once, we beat the boys. So basically, that was a good memory. When I seen out there, what's it say, mobile phones, drop your mobile phones in that box. Well, we used to drop a big turf in the box. Now it's your used mobile phone, throw it in here. So times have changed, yes.
The story of the plant is quite interesting because it started off because a child was allergic to it. It had been sitting on the window in Lil's room for years and years and years, very treasured. But as long as the child got allergic to it, she gave it away. She gifted it to Anne Cassidy, now Harkin, 49 years ago. And Anne looked after it very well because you can see it out there in tip-top condition.
And I used to help Lil, the teacher. If the young ones, if they were short of a teacher, missing or anything. So this girl going to Urris School, she was allergic to this flower here. And teacher, she was away from school very often, and the teacher says to me, I'll take you that plant home with you. And my mother had it for years while I was in England, and then she gave it back to me now. And it's I have it 49 years. And it's probably here maybe since the beginning of the year.
What did you feed it on? Anything special?
Not really, no. I just keep it well watered. She flowers every second year. There's 2 or 3 big, lovely big orange lilies on it.
Anne changed the clay on it over the years, and there's not a wrinkle on it, unlike ourselves.
Speak for yourself.
Tiernasligo National School. Proudly it stands behind its wall. In a century it's changed, not a lot. The school that started our journey in life, whether we liked it or not. Their first day some have forgotten, others remember it well. We all have our own special story, some funny and some hurt like hell. We remember the teachers who taught us, the ones who filled us with fear, while others were kind and considerate. They are the ones we held dear. How we giggled and played and made mischief if the teachers left the room, and the minute we heard them returning, the place was quiet as a tomb. The lessons we learned were important and helped us to get where we are. The friendships we forged at Tiernasligo have lasted and lasted so far, though most of its pupils achieved through ambition, good sense and hard graft. It also produced some fine bachelors and doctors and masters of craft. It was our own ancestors who built it, some working for sixpence a day. They thought they were privileged to earn that, so I've heard the old people say. Now it may be just an old building, but it's part of our childhood gone by, and many will never forget it until the last day when they die.
Dorothy Davis, letter, Clonmany. 4th of July 1915, went to Tiernasligo School.
Have you fond memories of Tiernasligo School?
Yeah, oh yes, very much so, yes. I liked the teachers. One was called Miss McDyer. She came from the Glenties and she taught us Irish. But I was very fond of Irish.
Yeah. You went to the school reunion, Rose, tell me.
I did.
Yeah.
Yes, that was very nice. Yes. I got presented with a bouquet of flowers because I was the oldest person there.
And the wee girl that presented you with the flowers,
yes.
Who was she?
She was the second cousin, actually, of my own. Michael Doherty's little girl.
Wasn't that nice?
It was lovely, especially it was a relative.
Yeah. It made it something special, didn't it?
Special neighbours. It was the Kellys neighbours.
Yeah.
I went to school with them. We walked all the way, of course. It was a long old journey.
Yeah.
Princess Mary Kelly, Nanny Kelly.
Yeah.
There'd be two of them. And the boys, Patrick and John Kelly.
Yeah.
I was born in Urris out in Leanin. My mum's name was Bridget Doherty in Clamartin, Leanin. Her maiden name was also Doherty, but they were usually called the Copans of Tiernasligo. The head teacher that taught me, right, she was there as a young girl. Excuse me. She originated from Derry, but she stayed over in Rantis, over in Urris. And Rantis is our neighbour farm.
You don't remember the teacher's name, Eileen?
McDade.
Was it?
Yeah.
McDade, yeah.
She was a Miss McDade.
Right.
From Derry.
Yeah. Yeah.
We called her Polly. First when you went in the bare feet, but as a couple of years on, you got white sandals, white canvas sandals.
Yeah.
And I never went in the bare feet in the summers. There were a wee bit of progress coming in, so things got a wee bit different in schools and everything.
Yeah.
my older sisters went to school, they had to pay for every book that they got to school. And there were some families wasn't able to pay for them. But when this change of government came, they got the books free. So the education progressed then.
Yeah.
Because folk that couldn't pay for them had to do without them.
Yeah.
If you sat next to someone who had one, maybe let you help to read. And that was away from my older sisters. Imagine they were in school.
Yeah.
But by the time I was in school, things was all changed.
Yeah.
So we did get the books.
Here in 2 other rooms way back, and then we were in these 2 others.
Okay.
Mm.
And the master, he taught which?
Our master taught the boys, the older boys.
And he was Master Doherty?
Eh?
He was Master Doherty?
Aye, Master Doherty, and his wife was a teacher too.
Yes.
She teaches small children.
Right, right.
A partition between the 2 rooms just.
Right. And
Yeah.
did you hear what was going on in the other room?
No. But anyone was unruly at her. She said they were damn.
Very good. And did you walk to school?
Oh, aye.
And was there a big gang of yous walked?
Aye, there was quite a few now going that
Right.
time to school.
Do you remember any names?
Hey?
Remember any of the names?
Aye, well, Jerry Brown and Neil, they two brothers out here.
Mm-hmm.
Jack Jackie and Teddy O'Donnell, Jim Stuffy, and Dan Copeland, Paddy Donald, and George, and then the Ranties.
And
He
how
had to
was-
bring a turf with that time.
All right, right.
Yeah,
Everybody had to bring one.
there was no easy in that time in the school.
Right. And did everybody in the family have to bring a turf, or was it just one per family?
I have to hit turf.
They had it.
Yeah, some had no turf, you see.
Right.
5 years.
Mm-hmm. And then you had a break time then?
Aye,
And
half an hour.
Half an hour.
Half an hour.
And what did you do at break time?
Ah, they were all out playing football times.
Right.
Yeah. Some went close by, went home for their dinner.
Right.
Yeah.
And did you bring your lunch onto school with you?
Ah, yes, a bit of stuff on the paper just for.
Did you enjoy doing the arithmetic or the
No,
composition?
we weren't too good at it now. One would be copying if the other. If you got a chance, you know.
Who were your best friends at school?
Oh, Christ, we're a whole heap of them. We're all good friends, right enough.
Right.
All them boys I mentioned.
Yes.
Yeah.
What about do you remember any boys from over in Urris that you were friendly with?
Paddy McDavis out in
Yes.
America.
Yes.
Aye, Paddy he was in one class with me.
Uh-huh.
Wally Dick and Johnny Dick.
What do you remember about school in Ireland?
I remember walking through Ranty's Moss, and I stole a turf on my way down to bring it to school. I wouldn't appreciate it if I didn't bring a turf. And there were 3 of us up at the head of the class, James Stuffy, John Brennan, and myself. I was the smartest of them all, but I don't want to rub it in. I remember I was caught lying underneath a bridge for 2 days one time, and somebody turned me in. And I had a big fight with the kid that did it. And the master came and got me, and he gave me an awful wallopy. Didn't do me any harm, but I remember if I ever went back, I would like to have a go at him.
Oh, do you remember his name? Who was that? Who was the master?
Master Doherty.
What else? Do you know any? Remember any friends that you went to school with?
Oh yeah, I had a lot of friends. And a lot of fighting boys too. And many a time I fought them.
Was it up? How long did it take you to get to school?
45 minutes to walk to school.
Dad, it's 100 years anniversary of your old school in July. 100 years. What age did you start going to the school at? How old were you?
6.
You're about 6.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely. And whereabouts was the school then?
In Tiernasligo.
Tiernasligo.
Yeah.
And was it the old school? How did you get there from home?
No, walk it.
Walk it. So you walked?
Walk it, yeah.
Brilliant. And did you have some nice new shoes and school uniform to wear?
No uniform, no. No uniform, no.
And what about your shoes? What about shoes?
Well, I used to get shoes.
And whose were they?
Any of them that they fitted.
Any that you fitted? Oh, brilliant. Yeah. What about, I remember you telling me about wearing a dress to school. What's all that about?
I did wear a dress, but I can't, the dress was made out of a flower
sack.
Yeah.
Made out of a flour sack.
Yeah,
oh golly. Yeah. So what about, was it girls and boys or just boys?
Oh no, boys.
Boys.
Boys section, and the girls. It was in the same building, but they were different desks.
All right. And what did you do at playtime at school?
Well, yeah, a bit of all in wrestling.
A bit of all in wrestling. Charlie McDade, what can I say? And were you good at fighting?
I could look after myself.
All right. I know your brother said he liked a good old punch up in the school.
Oh yeah.
And what about your lovely teacher? Was it Maggie McDade?
Maggie McDade.
Right. Tell me a little bit about her.
Well, I only knew her. She horseman John.
Right.
He was teaching in the boys' school.
I'm with you. And what about? Tell me the story about your singing career in the school. You got picked for the choir.
Oh yeah.
Tell me the story.
I got picked for the choir, and I went to the girls' school.
Lovely.
I can remember that. I started feeling her bottom.
Oh dear, that's not too good, is it? And what happened?
I can't. She told me to get away. I had to leave.
So no singing in the choir?
No singing. I was supposed to sing. You see, I don't know how to pick me, because my father used to do a bit of singing and things, you know.
Oh, right.
I sort of picked anybody that had any sort of a voice at all.
Oh, right. So you obviously had a bit.
I was picked. But I didn't do much singing.
I went to school here. My sister was going to school, and I had to come to school because she was ready to stop, you see. And every morning I would go to school, I would cry the rounds before I would go to school, because I didn't like it. And then when I got a bit of sense then, you know, but I still didn't like it anyway. And
had you a lunch to school?
Huh?
Did you bring a lunch to
school?
school?
I wouldn't say. It was too long, you know, too long.
So you didn't go home for dinner or nothing?
No, it was too far.
And what would you have brought to? You'd have brought
just a
ham sandwiches?
You want them sure get ham. You get a dry slice of bread, and that was it, or 2 slices.
Wrapped in what?
Wrapped in a piece of paper.
Yeah.
That's true.
Did you go on the bare feet?
Oh, I did.
Tell us about that.
Well, I went on the bare feet, and every day you come up that road, you'd have a cut toe. Oh, and we had to take one of these with us to school. And if you come in without one of them, you'd be crucified nearly. And
what was one of those?
A turf.
Good black turf?
Aye. And the teacher would be standing at the box where you put your turf in, and if you hadn't a turf with you, you might well leave the school. And it was hard when you didn't like school, you know. It was kind of tough on you.
This is your daughter here beside you?
That's Mina. She's married to Dan Tolan. We didn't have no electricity, we didn't have no water, we didn't have no toilet. Well, we had a toilet, it was a dry toilet. And in the winter time they put on a big fire, and that had to heat you. Right enough, we didn't have to take a turf to school, but it was supplied. They bought it, I don't know who bought it, but it was always there. And they had coal as well. But it was cold in the winter time because we would be way down at the back, and the fire would be way up at the front.
and you would break the point of your pencil, so you would get up near the fire to point your pencil and warm you.
Where did you go to school?
Down Tiernasligo.
Tell me about that. Can you remember going to your first days going to school? Can you?
Yeah, I do. I can mind the first days, all right. I remember going down there, you can't tough for you anyway. on the arm. I'll do it, every fellow does it. Out to the school. Dump it in the box for you and then they do it.
Did you learn much?
Did
you learn much?
I learned a bit. I learned a bit, all right. Most things we learned was that. Well, most of us would be learning the mathematics, how to count anyway. I see them now from home school for the heating goes off. There's no school, the school's closed, the heating goes off. They're all heating on there, very good. Tough fire. I know the better coal. I don't think I've never seen coal. I've never seen coal. I used to be out shade outside for keep a food bits and pieces and it.
Yeah. And a good flush toilet.
Aye. You only be smoking and you're going to throw away with water, go on fire, I wouldn't one. Oh, no flush toilet. All one boxes.
Where did you go to school, Sis?
Tiernasligo, down there. And I hated school. If I dream I'm at school yet, the pill is saturated. My mother used to let me down, and she would catch a bullion bee, you know, a benweed, and I would be marked round the legs. And the rest of them all liked school. I used to write with the left hand, and throw with the left hand. And our teacher would, oh my God, my hand was blistered. And I would sit crying in the school all day. It wasn't that funny. And I see people coming in here now, all writing with the left hand. Shocking. That's why I hated school. And my brother, God, he's dead, he was writing with the left hand. And the school teacher put a placard across pinned across the back of his shoulder. Wasn't that cruel? And tie his hand behind his back. Like school. Oh, thanks be to God, not at all.
Did your parents' generation speak Irish, Sis?
My mother did. My mother and my aunts, when they began, speak away in Irish.
And why do you think that died out?
I do not know. I suppose, like everything, they didn't want to bother about it.
My father was a caretaker here, and I lived here until 59 when I emigrated.
Yeah. And your name is?
Oh, I'm Margaret Mary. Dorothy. I was born up in the parish because my mother belonged to the parish. We were born up in our old home, and then we all moved down to Leanan. And I was 5 years old when I went to Tiernasligo School, still living down in Leanan. And then we moved up here again, as Danny, my brother said, 1950.
1950, yeah.
Yeah. And good memories up here. We were happy here, very happy here. Yeah. We've got sad memories and good memories, but mostly good memories, yeah.
I just imagine the bus collected you every morning at the gate here to go to school, did it?
Oh, you must be joking. 2 pair of feet, 2 feet, that 2 feet.
Yeah.
Hail, rain or snow.
Hail, rain or shine. Sometimes in the bare feet.
Well, maybe in the summertime when the weather was a bit warm. We got better summers then.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
No, we walked to school every morning and run home from school because we'd be starving to get our dinner. We'd be away all day. Mum would have the dinner ready, you know, and loved the school. We did like the school now, didn't we, Danny?
Yeah, 2 miles to school.
Yeah.
At least.
Good memories. Used to take a turf to school to light the fire.
That was before that, didn't it? Yeah.
Did you not used to take a turf?
Oh yeah, I took a turf to school, yeah. We couldn't afford to buy the turf at the time.
Yeah.
No,
so everybody brought one in the morning.
And where would you get the turf, Donna?
From our own house.
Would you?
Take one under our arms.
And if you forgot one, would you take?
Go to Granny's.
Would you go to another?
No.
Go to Granny's on the way home, go down the road. Yeah.
If you forgot one, you used to keep it in an old tea chest as you went in the door and just throw it in.
Everybody would throw the turf in.
And if you forgot a turf, you could just give a kick to the tea chest, and she thought you put one in, like, you know.
But we never got any heating at the school. The teacher would stand in front of it, she'd be warm, and we'd be frozen. True enough, you know. Yeah.
That's true, yeah.
Yes, you know, we'd be frozen. Especially Lal. You know, but no, like good memories of the school, Danny.
Yeah, of course they were.
Yeah.
Very good, yeah.
I started Tiernasligo School from Ned's, then beside Granny's. I hated the school. I did. I just hated the school.
Like the walk, I think.
I didn't like the walk, yeah. But however, me and Mrs. McLaughlin got on fine, and when I made my confirmation, she bought me my confirmation dress, and then she gave me sweets afterwards. I was just a little girl.
That changed your whole opinion then?
Well, not so. Monday morning at the school, if she came up trim, if she had a red berry on, we all said, danger's coming, she was in a bad mood. But if she had a black berry on, we were fine. But, yeah, I left in 1962. And I just told our bridie to tell Mrs. McLaughlin that I wasn't coming back. And the first day my mother sent me down to Packyfriels for the shopping on the bike. I wouldn't go by the school, so I went down Smithy Road and along the bottom of the Naff Road and up that way.
Well, I remember when we used to be at the school, we had to go for the water. We had to carry up the water in the buckets. We used to go down to Harry's for the water, and we'd make sure, me and Peggy Kane was a neighbour, and we made sure we were first to go down for the water every day. So we went down to Harry's for the water, and by the time we got up to school there was no water in the bucket. We were sent back down again, and then they used to leave the bucket in the middle of the playground, and everybody would drink out of the bucket, and if the ice came the bucket would be frozen over. We'd have to break it to get into it.
I remember just, the happy times, and I used to love school really, and I used to go different directions in the morning. Sometimes I'd go down Strand Road, sometimes, and just anything for a change. I used to love going around Strand Road and coming back that way as well. It took us longer, it took me longer, but I used to love it, and we'd always meet Denny Jimmy Ned. He used to live, he was a handyman at the fort. He lived over on Urris Manor, and he would come on his bicycle, and we'd meet him around at the Blackboard Gate. That's the outside gate, yeah. And every morning, for some reason, we used to ask Denny the time, and he had this pocket watch, and he used to have it on here, and he would always have it wrapped, in a hanky. And as I say, I don't know, for some reason we used to always have to ask him the time. And poor Denny he'd be coming, and maybe he'd be walking up the hill there at the Blackboard, and if it was windy he'd be panting, and he would still have a good word for us, and we'd say, what time is it? And he would go and he would take the watch and he would unravel it and everything and tell us the time, and then we were quite happy. We were off again on the road to school. Well, it's just thinking back, I always think back on that, what this reason that we had for asking the time.
I remember my first day at school, 1956. Well, I didn't know it was 56. I was 6. You were 2 when you came up here. Was I? But I don't remember that. Yeah, I was 6 when I started school, and I remember I was told that I cried all day when I left the house till I got back. But
how did you bring your lunch, Matt?
No, I don't know what a ham sandwich was. Scone bread. It was scone bread. Yeah, we had to bring 2 slices of scone bread and jam, or maybe butter. That was it, and that's how we'd have till we got home. 4 o'clock or something. We used to get home from school. Granny's for a piece. We might have. Oh yeah, we might. Sometimes we'd call into Granny's and have a jam and a piece of jam, bread and jam. Yeah, so really, it was good though. I like school.
I went to school in Tiernasligo.
He's once telling me he was hanging onto the fence and didn't want to go. That's true enough. But we got there anyways. Yeah, it was a long struggle, like, you know.
Yes, we come at the same time every year so she can enjoy the rosary and the singing and the service up the gap. It's become the highlight of our summer.
You left here as a young fella yourself, Donald?
Yes, I was here till I was 6. I went to Tiernasligo School for 1 year, from 5 to 6, and then went to Scotland along with my parents in 1948. I have memories of Urris Tiernasligo School, like, you know. I remember walking from Urris in the bare feet. I remember very clearly Jimmy Ivers, Bernard Harkin, one or two of the Barry Harleys that I can't put first names on, Margaret and me, Jimmy Ned. There was another lad as well that I just can't remember his name, but we fell out the first day at school. He pulled my hair because he said my father had sold his father a horse that wasn't up to what it should be doing. And he pulled my hair and I hit him.
Over the horse.
That was the first day at school.
What was your mother's name?
Mary.
Mary what?
Dorothy.
Tell me what age you are.
96. Neil Harry was in the same class as me at school.
Had you any sisters or brothers?
I had one sister and one brother, Richard, Mary and Oni.
Right.
Only Richard Mary's dead.
Yeah.
I was Kitty and Oni and Richard Mary.
Yeah.
We're just the three of us.
Yes. Watching television?
Oh, there was no television that time. No television that time. The school was a walk.
2 minutes walk?
2 minutes walk.
Yes.
My brother used to, and instead of going round the gate, he used to jump on the wall.
He'd go over the wall?
Jump on the wall.
Only would come up the road, up to the main road, and then turn round to the school. Hated the school, you see. So he took the long way round.
The long way round to the school. I went home for dinner every day.
Every day?
At playtime.
At playtime, yeah.
Playtime.
Yeah. What was your father's name?
Oh, they called him Paddy O'Day.
Paddy O'Day, yes, yes. Yeah. And he would be farming?
Paddy O'Day. Mary O'Day was my mother's name.
Yes.
Mary O'Day, Paddy O'Day and Mary Day.
And who was she? Who was she before she married Paddy?
Duffy, I think.
She was Duffy?
Mary Duffy.
From Leenan?
Down there, Dunab from.
Oh, Dunab. Duffy's from Dunab.
Close to the school here, isn't it?
Yes, just across the way there.
You didn't go to school here, have you?
No, but my 8 children came here. My 8 children came here.
All your children?
Yes, 8 of them. All 8 of them.
You good fond memories out here in Urris, hadn't you?
Oh, I had indeed.
Huh?
Lovely place to live. Very private.
Nice people.
Lovely people.
Married Dorothy. I didn't come to the school. No, I went to School-Urris School. Well, my family all went to the school.
Yeah.
I had 4 family, 3 boys, 3 girls, and we went to the school.
That's it, yeah.
Yes.
So you're looking forward to this reunion, right?
I am surely.
Meeting old friends.
Meeting old friends.
You go to school here, Paddy?
I did surely, sure, yeah.
Oh, I did.
Years ago.
Did you like school, Paddy?
Did not know. Did not surely.
You got good memories of some nice teachers.
Aye, we have.
So you like school?
I did. I did, surely. Tina and Daniel was at the school.
That's right.
Aye, first. They came down from the fort.
Yeah.
You know. We hope to meet some of my old classmates today.
Lovely.
A lovely occasion, great celebration. 100 years of anything is great. And we're looking at old photographs there, and to see that the 100 years ago when this school started up, it was a different world. And of course the school building has progressed over the years. It's a lovely building today. Very proud of it.
All the boys that went to school along with me, there's only one of them alive.
Is there? That's strange then, because you don't look too old, like, you know.
There's nothing strange about it, but they act. One never knows the other one.
No. So you're looking forward to tonight on air, Michael?
Aye, yes.
Yeah. Nice occasion.
Very nice occasion.
I'm Bridget Kelly. Oh, I did, yes. About 60 odd year ago, over 60 years ago, we used to come here, walk from Leanin in the bare feet too, over here. It was great, we enjoyed it. And used to get into the tar bubbles, burst the bubbles of the tar with your toes and your fingers. And you went home, you're covered in tar. We used to enjoy it.
Well, I think it's important that people celebrate occasions. You know, unfortunately in life,
we always seem to kind of gather together for tragedies. Somebody's killed in a road accident. We gather together maybe all down the years, also often because of tragedies at sea, and communities come together and people reflect and speak. But I think it's very, very important that any occasion, and particularly sort of 100 years of a school, is a significant time for people to come together just to reflect on the past, to celebrate the present, and also of course to be very conscious that we are neither living in the past and we're talking about the future. So I think it's important that people come together. So hopefully the coming together this evening of people looking at old photographs, talking to other people, looking at old photographs, and calling to mind the days of yore, which maybe haven't been always the most pleasant, but today maybe able to look at them in a different light is a very special occasion, and I think it's right that people should celebrate, and I'm very pleased to be part of it.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of